Well, hello there. Welcome. This is Turn It Up Thursday, your personal development session with your host and coach, Karen, Coach KG Gilliam. Hello there. So, as the different platforms are letting you know that I am now live, you want to come on in. And I'm speaking to fulfilled dream builders. And we've been working on this for a while. And we're diving in even deeper now by creating a dream map. So you should have a notebook. That notebook should be titled My Dream Map. Hopefully, you have access to the 2 dream tests because we've been working with this book by Dr. John Maxwell, Putting Your Dream to the Test. And the dream test, consisted of 10 questions. The 10 questions are then chapters in the book that we went over. I mean, we've been on this for a while now. So we went over each chapter. Then at the end, we retook the test, the same test, and to see if our score is different. A perfect score would have been 10 in each of the categories. And now we're going through each question again to create our dream map. So I am going to look back at my notes. Boy, I tell you, I'm just so excited. Let's just call this right now. You are here. You are here. And by being here, are you or are you not where you want to be when it comes to your dream? So you are here, and we're taking the primitive way, not a GPS, but it's the same concept. We are mapping out from where you are to where you want to be. So what are we doing now? We are sort of asking for directions, and I'll explain that today. Asking for directions. Then we're going to give life to the map. We're going to journalize. We're going to plot the course. We're going to survey the terrain, see if we need to make some adjustments. This is all part of the process. And at the end of this broadcast today, before we end, I am going to talk to you about a growth plan. Now, this is Dr. Maxwell's suggestion and recommendation, and it is something that I personally did in my journey of achieving my dream. Now, I tell people now I'm in my dream, but I still do not have all aspects of my dream manifested yet. So I'm in the journey of my dream, but I'm in it, totally immersed in it. I'm not on the outside looking in anymore. I am totally in it. And that's where I want you to be. So you can definitely be who you want to be, do what you want to do, have what you want to have. And in that process, you become your best self, your authentic self, and you are living your life by design and not default. So let's jump on in. And then for those of you that took the first test, I want you to take a look at what your score was from that test. Now, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching this by replay, please do let me know when you come in. Let everyone know where you're viewing from. I'm in the Pacific Northwest and it is a beautiful sunny day. We cheer for sunny days out here. You know that if you've ever been to the Pacific Northwest. But we're also going to be turning up the heat this weekend here. And so I'm excited. I love hotter weather and as opposed to cold, and a lot of people here don't like the heat, but I do. But that's another story. All right, so if you took the test and you what was your score out of 10 on this question? If you did very well and it was a 10, I'm here to tell you, you won't have a whole lot of work to do for this question. I'm not going to say you can skip the question and not have some things to do, because every aspect of the test identifies more about you. So if you scored low on the lower end, Dr. Maxwell recommends that you engage in a development process. And right here, turn it up. This is a development process. Every week, we work on personal development. Later on, before the end of the broadcast, though, I will tell you about a program that you can come into to develop not only your personal development, but also to work on your strengths. So we are journaling with this dream map, and I want you to write about in your journal where you currently are. Where are you currently in relation to your dream? And then talk about the gap in between. So if you're not where you want to be, or you haven't accomplished what you wanted to accomplish, you look at where you are now and look at where you want to be. And then there's a gap. The idea is to close that gap and to totally be in your dream. And so you want to overcome the obstacles. So even list, when you're journaling, list the obstacles that you've encountered, because especially those of you that have had a dream for a while, what obstacles have you had to overcome? So let's survey the terrain. That was one of the processes I mentioned earlier. So we decided that assessing your strengths and areas of improvement would be a great surveillance of the terrain. So if you have not done this within the last 2 years, I am going to recommend, and I know it is the same as Dr. Maxwell recommends, that you do the following. So you want to jot these down. There's a couple of books that you want to pick up. One is Strength Finder 2.0 by Tom Rath. Now, Dr. Maxwell highly recommends it. I recommend it. I lived it. This book changed my life. And how did it change my life? It helped me to understand and focus on my strengths rather than always focusing on what were my areas of improvement, my weaknesses. This helped me stay focused on my strengths. And once I discovered what those strengths were and how I could develop them, I went into that process. And that we'll talk about that as part of the growth plan later on. So this is the first book, The Strength Finders 2.0. Tom Rath is the author. Now, the other one is not a book. I have another book, but in between doing Strength Finder, do a personality assessment, especially if you haven't done one in 2 years, I would say. Do a personality assessment. So there are several out there. I recommend, along with Dr. Maxwell, DISC, DISC, or the Myers-Briggs personality assessment. Go online, look for either one of those, and take those assessments. This will give you an idea of what your personality is like. Okay? Now, the other book, and I'm actually thinking once we have finished, I will continue on with this growth plan that you'll hear me talk about later. This growth plan, and these two books will be discussed. Strength Finder 2.0, and if your dream is about you being in a role of leadership, another John Maxwell book. He is the expert when it comes to leadership. So he has the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership. So we will probably be doing both of these books, and I may touch on the DISC personality assessment. Not to go in any great detail with that, but we'll maybe take a look at that. Once you've completed those things in your journaling, this is part of the map. Write a summary of yourself, incorporating your findings. What did you find out about yourself when you took the Strength Finder assessment? I will let you know, just to give you an idea, my top 5, and you're going to hear me talk about that. Your top 5. You should know your top 5 strengths like you know your name. Your top 5 strengths are synonymous to you. So my top 5 are communication, empathy, maximizer, positivity, and woo. Now, just to give you a brief overview of what each one of these are, communication is someone who loves to communicate written, orally. So I love to speak, I love to talk, I love to write. So these are all communication, under the communication, and it is a strength of mine. Now, since taking this Strength Finder assessment and learning that communication was one of my strengths, that's how another reason the book Queen Warrior came about. I was already speaking, did public speaking, do it online, do coaching, but I had never written a book. So as I developed that strength, it was, I'm not going to say it was easy, but it was simpler to write the book. And that's just the first book. There will be other books that will come in the future. Empathy is my second strength. And empathy is that I have a compassion for people. I have a tendency to feel the emotions that they are feeling. And that way it helps me to be able to communicate effectively for them and not me. I'm a maximizer. And what that means is, as a strength, mediocrity is not even in my vocabulary. I am one that will help people stretch, grow. And as you hear me talk about these strengths right now, you can see that I'm actually fulfilling my Strength Finder findings. All right. Positivity, without a doubt. I'm going to always find the positiveness in everything. I don't care what it is. And I don't dwell on the negative, because what you focus on and dwell on will grow. And then my last strength is WOO, which is an acronym for winning others over. I'm a great influencer and I have impact with that influence. So that is Strength Finder. So both of those are very important for you to do. Now, the next thing, when you do a map, there may be times you need to ask questions. So we've already said in this segment, you want to choose a person you want to talk to. Look at your circle of acquaintances, someone that knows you well. As we're working on the reality question, am I depending on factors within my control to achieve my dream? That's what we're talking about today. So choose someone who knows you well and ask them to answer a few questions that you have about your strengths and your areas of improvement. Some of the questions you might ask are, what strength have you observed in me? You know, we may discover our strengths through assessment, but other people watch you. They see you, they work with you, all right? They live with you. They can probably tell you what they see as a strength in you. Another question would be, what areas am I more productive? Where do you see me being productive when you work with me, or you live with me, or you uh, do life with this person? They will know the area in which you are more productive. And then, in what ways do I add value? It is very important to add value to other people, so they will help you with that. Now, that's just a start. You may come up with some other questions that you might want to ask as the conversation is going on, but that gives you a start to ask those questions. This is an opportunity for you to ask the questions, but after that, you listen and learn. You ask the question, but you listen and learn. Do not interrupt them. Do not get defensive or make excuses based on what they share with you. You are there to listen and learn from someone else who is observing you. Okay? Now, we want to close that gap from where you are currently to where you want to be in your fulfilled dream. So we are building upon that. So to close that gap, we're going to talk about a personal growth plan. A personal growth plan. So, the bottom of the screen, this is a 1-year growth plan. 1 year from when you start until you finish is one complete year. So I'm going to give you the components of this growth plan. The first one would be read 2 books related to each one of your strengths. So how many strengths did I say you would discover in Strength Finder? 5. So you read 2 books related to each strength. I have read communication books, um, books on empathy, winning others over. All right. So 2 books related to each one of your strengths. This is within this growth plan of 1 year. Everybody with me? All right. The second thing you're going to do in this growth plan is to plan an interview with an expert in your number 1 strength. Whatever your number 1, my number 1 is communication. So, I would interview someone who is an expert in communication. So that might be another coach for me, or a public speaker, or someone who is in radio or television. All right. So, whatever your number 1 strength is, you're going to plan an interview with an expert. All right. Now you say, well, what am I supposed to do in this interview? Well, in the interview, you are going to ask like those questions we just talked about, where you're discovering about yourself, but they may not know you if they are more of an expert. So you might ask them about them and listen and learn, right? Why why would you not want to learn from someone who is in or has accomplished the dream in which you are looking to accomplish? I want to find out, what is it that you've done? What obstacles did you come up against? Do you see what I'm saying? So it's important to do that. Now, number 3 on your 1 year growth plan, listen to one podcast every week related to your top 5 strengths. I'll just put it like this. Listen Monday, for me, communication. 2 would be um, positivity. I mean, you don't have to go in the specific order, but just make sure you cover the podcast. And when would you find time to do that? You might be asking yourself. Well, you can listen to the podcast in your commute time, going to work, coming home. You don't need to listen to the top 20 or the top 10 songs, whatever. There's another time for that. This is an opportunity for you to be the best version of yourself by listening to a podcast. And all you need to do, you know that what we have, information overload in our society today. All you need to do is get on one of the podcasts, like Audible, or one of the podcast platforms. Put in the search bar communication. What now? Your 5, not mine. Your 5, and it will give you recommendations of podcasts to listen to. All right. All right. Now I'm going to do that one more time. This is your 1 year growth plan. All right. So let me go back. Read 2 books related to your strength. Plan an interview with an expert in your number 1 strength. Listen to one podcast every week. This is a year growth plan. So 52 weeks, you're going to listen to one podcast every week related to your top 5 strengths. All right. Now, this is all to focus on your strengths. And we put the emphasis on your strengths so you can develop them. And then your areas of improvement will just get smaller and smaller and smaller. All right? It doesn't make sense shouldn't I take the things that are my weaknesses and make those better? No. No, that's the negative part. Take the positive, which is your strengths, develop those, and watch how those areas of your weaknesses or areas of improvement that will start to diminish. Now, in this growth plan, because remember what we said, yes, we want our dream to become our lives, the way we live. And in that, we are going to become, we are going to acquire, we are going to live, whatever your dream is. But remember, we said in order to have a fulfilled dream, it has to benefit others. So you may work on your growth plan for this 1 year, but there's an area that I will tell you you cannot work on alone. And Dr. Maxwell said it as well, and that is your character. And you said, well, why can't I work on my character? Well, because you need someone to be accountable to, because your character is produced from the habits you have. Did you know that? Your habits, the things you do in, day out, how you do things, your habits produces your character. And it's your character that produces your destiny. So you want to work on your character, which means focusing and working on your habits. And doing that alone is not the best because you have no one to be accountable to. So Dr. Maxwell and myself are saying that is when you need a mentor or a coach. A mentor or a coach. Now, I have, and I have had previously mentors and coaches. To this day, I still have a mentor and coach. It was Dr. Maxwell that I learned a definition that I really liked about who a mentor or a coach is. I heard him say this at the church. He was speaking at our church. And he said, a definition of a mentor is someone who lives to make your dreams come true. Now, when he says make your dreams come true, that means they work with you. You have to do the work. A mentor cannot do the work for your dream to come true, but we are a point of accountability. We are a point of accountability. So, with that being said, I mentioned to you that before the end of this broadcast, hey there, Phil. Welcome to the broadcast. How are you? Glad you are here. And please do make sure that you get the replay, play it back, because this is a good one. This is another good one about talking about helping your dreams, putting your dream to the test, and making sure that dream comes true. And so I'm just about to get into how you can work to develop your character, and your character are your habits. And you work with someone to be accountable with in that aspect of it. The 1 year plan that I just outlined for you is working on your strengths, developing your strengths. But when it comes to character, since that is your habits, you have to have someone to be accountable to. So, with that being said, and yes, yes, you are blessed by the best. Let me let you know. Um, with that being said, I am offering an opportunity for you to consider a program that my success partner and I, Dr. Dan Abraham Thomas Jr., PD, is how what I call him, and most people call him PD. Um, he's my success partner. He and I have been working together on a program. And so we would like to offer this program to not everybody. I mean, if we're going to be totally honest, 10 people. Now, this is a program to help you with those habits to develop a better character. And then as you're focusing on your strengths, you are going to see results. And that's what you want. If you are a person who is tired of starting something and then you hit a brick wall, so you stop, or can't get going, or always starting over, this program could be for you. But we want to chat with you to see if we are and our program is a good fit for you. So, this is what we have. We have an opportunity for you to go to the calendar, and there is the link right there. If you say, you know what, I it can't hurt to talk to you. No, and it's free. Does not cost anything to talk to us in this discovery meeting. We're just between the two of us have some questions we'd like to ask you and find out what your struggle is and whether our program would be a good fit for you. So jot down that link and schedule a time. We'll get notified, and you have an option. You can do it by telephone or you can do it live with a Zoom call so we can see you. All right? But the option is yours. And then there's some questions when you schedule the appointment, some questions that we ask to sort of get an idea of where you are. So, I invite you to go to that link, schedule a time, talk with us. And if you say, you know what, nothing changes until I make a change. So if you keep doing what you've been doing, and if you're not where you want to be, you're not living your life of your dreams, then schedule that appointment. Um, and at the next available time for both of us, it will let you know, and we'll go from there. All right. So that is our session for today. This was the third question on the dream test, and this was the reality question. The question is, am I depending on factors within my control to achieve my dreams? We went over what those factors are, identifying your strengths, also developing a growth plan for 1 full year, and an opportunity with a program that will help you with the character aspect, the habits that you have, because it's the habits that you have that create your uh, character and ultimately your destiny. So, next week, we continue on with question 4 of the dream test. If you're listening to this and you say, Coach, I don't even know what dream test you're talking about, then just say, I'd like the dream test, and I can send that to you through Messenger if we're friends on Facebook, or you can give me an email address and I can send it to you that way. So next week, oh, be ready, because you guys know how I am about passion. So, does my dream compel me to follow it? And it's the passion question. So we will do that next week. And okay, Phil, that's fine. I know people are at work, and you can definitely go back and watch the replay. And you like the dream test, and it's going to be coming to you right after I end the broadcast, Phil. So you take that, and we will talk. We can talk about it, and then you will be able to follow along with us, because we've been doing this for a few weeks now. uh, I am very passionate to help people achieve their dreams, and this is coming from someone who is now living in her dream. So I said at the beginning that even though I'm living in my dream, there's aspects of my dream still to be manifested. So um, definitely want to help people get on that right path. I know I'm going to have people that are going to be able to share on a Turn It Up Thursday their story of how they put their dream to the test and they passed. So, all right. So, I want to take an opportunity for those of you that are watching the replay and you are a mother. I want to take an opportunity from a mother of 3 and a mom to 12 grandsugars. Have a wonderful, blessed Mother's Day weekend. What will I be doing? Well, it's part of the dream. I will be attending a basketball tournament all weekend. We're going to take some time to do a Mother's Day brunch, but a basketball tournament where 2 of my grandsons are playing in. And so that I love sports. We're a sports family. So I will be with my children and some of my grandsugars, not all of them, but one was born, as you know, 3 weeks today. 3 weeks today. Hollis Brian Gilliam came into the world. So he makes 12. So I have a perfect dozen. All right. So please have a wonderful Mother's Day. For those of you that are not mothers, but I know you have a mother, or if you're like me, my mother transitioned back in 1999, but I will take some time to spend in prayer and with her spirit, um, remembering aspects of her life that impact mine. So I have a wonderful weekend. All of you, empowered blessings. And I love you. Have a great day.